Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lilbumblebear's Let's Play. I'm Kristen and I am here with another nostalgic game, Laurel with a Moral. Laurel will tell us all these stories and share morals with us through each story. I absolutely loved Laurel with a Moral growing up. If you remember her, please let me know in the comments down below and subscribe so you don't miss out on awesome uploads to come in the future. I have a Twitter and Instagram you're welcome to follow, and a Discord server open to everyone. The invite link can be found in the description box. Come join and say hi or lurk, whatever you prefer to do. But please enjoy Laurel with a Moral.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself, get as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
A good little mouse was told stay in the house, and he knew he should obey his mother. But there was this cat who said, outside's where it's at. Oh, won't you come out and play, little brother? Now that cat's name was Temptation. He was no mouse's relation. He was just trying to seem friendly and nice. But it was really his plan to get that mouse in his hand and to feast on a meal of fresh mice. Now, that mouse may have been small, but he had good recall of the words his mother had spoken. Other mice in his household were quietly mouseholed to see if his will would be broken. That cat begged and he pleaded, said it was what that mouse needed. Playing outside will make you grow strong. Come out here and play, and by the way, can having fun with a friend be so wrong? Temptation you're trying, but your act I'm not buying. I'll do as my mother has told me. I'm a good little mouse. I'll not leave this house. I'll not give a reason to scold me. The cat said, ah, please, and got down on his knees. Said, I'll give you some cheese so you'll grow. Join me for a snack. And remember this fact, your mother's not home, so who'll know? Did he say cheese? That's that little mouse's favorite thing. No, I'll not disobey my mother that way, no matter how you entice. She taught me this lesson with cats, and don't be messin', 'cause you'll find that to mice, they're not nice. All that cat's kindness was pretend. He wasn't really a friend, despite how sweetly he spoke. But the good little mouse had a plan to make that cat show his hand, and to show you temptation's no joke. You see, the mouse found this thing. It was a wind-up toy on a string. It looked exactly like a mouse. He doused it with some mouse-smelling lotion and set it in motion and sent it outside his house. That toy looked so real. The cat pounced on it for a meal and plopped it into his mouth. But it didn't taste so great. But that little toy's fate would have been the mouse's, no doubt. So obey your father and mother. Don't even listen to another when they try and lead you astray. Don't be a doubting Thomas. It's a commandment with a promise. Obey. You'll live longer that way.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself, get as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
Spider said to Little Bug, "Stop by when you're about. For folks like you, my pretty friend, the welcome mat is always out." Little Bug thought Spider kind. Why is Mother so in doubt? She always warns me, stay away whenever I go out. Then one day when Little Bug was playing in the sun, Spider called to him and said, "Come to my place when you're done." Little Bug was polite and kind, but faithful to his mom. He said, "No, thank you, Mr. Spider. I must be getting home." So off he went, but in his heart, he wondered how it'd be to visit in a spider's home and drink some spider tea, and play a little spider game, and laugh at spider jokes, and hear some spider stories of famous spider folks. The more he thought of spider fun, the more he thought, it can't be bad. And thinking is what leads to doing, 'cause you do the thoughts you've had. But he decided that he'd tell his mom his very deepest wishes. Then she explained to Little Bug just why she's so suspicious. She told of Spider's sticky web that's woven with such care, and many bugs have gone that way, but don't come back from there. As Little Bug sat listening, safe at his mother's side, he was glad he'd talked things out with her before some foolish thing he'd tried. He was glad he had obeyed his mom, acting according to her wish. Why, had he gone to Spider's home for lunch, he might have been the luncheon dish.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
Way down deep in the bottom of the sea lived the little fishy Leah who would worry. She was always in a tizzy, she was always in a fret, she was always in a dither and a hurry. Now she never really knew how she'd learn to tie a shoe, but then her mother pointed out that fish don't wear them. She feared she'd be a mess if she ever wore a dress, because the holes for the buttons, she might tear them. Now it never crossed her mind that these things, not for her kind, were worries that she didn't need to ponder. But much time was often spent on things that not for her were meant. With not a clue of what to do, her mind would wander. Now when living in an ocean, how does a fishy get such notion that she should worry over things so unrelated? But when her mother took a look into Fishy's favorite book, she found the reason. It's a little complicated. You see, Leah every day would while much time away with a catalog of gifts before her eyes. Little did she know, upset and worried she would grow, wanting everything she saw in girls' fish size. The book had grown the thought that happiness is bought from a catalog by buying all it mentions. She thought if she missed even one, then she'd miss a piece of fun, and dreams of having fun were her intentions. Her frustration only grew because the little fishy knew she'd have more problems if she ever got her wishes. She wanted all the book contained, but then she worried and complained. She was confused how they'd be used by little fishes. When Mother saw her problems, she knew that she could solve them, but not an item from the catalog she bought her. She turned the book in for another, selected carefully by Mother, to grow character and strength within her daughter. The book told of fishes bold and strong, caring, honest, righting wrongs. This time what Leah saw she could acquire. Her frustration disappeared. Her mind began to clear. From reading her new book, she never tired. So be careful where you look. Choose carefully each book. Leastwise, your mind should catch the wrong idea. Happiness isn't things that a catalog order brings. Take a lesson from our little fishy, Leah.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear, hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
The young seals were coming with very good reason. It was time for auditions for the new circus season. They practiced and practiced their difficult poses. They worked hard at balancing balls on their noses. Among the young hopefuls was a seal named Dee. He'd dreamed of performing from the time he was 3. And now was the day for his dream he would try. He was hoping he'd catch the ringmaster's eye. As the seals all lined up to try out in the ring, they were called one by one to juggle and sing. Dee watched politely, and it was soon time for him. He went forward, but stumbled and fell on his chin. He struggled to rise and start over again, but again stubbed a fin and again smacked his chin. Everyone began laughing. It was plain to see. The cause for their laughter? They were laughing at Dee. He didn't mean to be funny. He wasn't laughing and joking. And the more that they laughed, the more he felt he was choking. His eyes seemed to blur. His face felt all flush. He wanted to hide or just leave in a rush. How he'd hoped his performance would bring oohs and ahs, dazzle small children, and impress ma's and pa's. But now he was down. Was this just not his season? Oh, he liked a crowd laughing, but not for this reason. But then that very thought, 'twas what gave him new hope. Those laughs could work for him if he chose not to mope. So he rolled over and tumbled, quite an act for this fella. On purpose his head caught in his umbrella. Now he liked all the laughter, 'cause he chose to laugh too. To make others happy was what he really wanted to do. Oh, it's more fun to have fun and not nurse a sting. The ringmaster announced, Dee will work center ring. So the circus continues night after night. And Dee is so happy that what he chose was not flight, but to stay and keep trying to make the most out of it all. And if you ask Dee, he'll tell you he's having a ball.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear, hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
There once was a girl whose hair wouldn't curl, and all of her sisters made fun. But her brother laughed too, when after shampooed, her hair pointed all directions. Her bangs stuck out straight. What a terrible fate, when afros were then much the vogue. How could anyone's hair with no curl compare to those with such get up and go? How unfair for one's hair to unmanageably hang there, when visions of curl were the theme of her dream. To be like another, she confided in mother, was the wish for which she did scheme. With permanent and pins, icky goo, and some friends, the girl, lacking curl, set her hair. Oh, such work was not fun, but if curls would come, the job had to be done, so who cared? After applying much heat, She arose to her feet and prepared for the awaited unveiling. Out came the clips and rollers and pins, and after brushing, out came the curls, how enraging. Tears drenched her eyes, her friends not surprised, for this one's hair didn't take kindly to changing. After all that fuss, just to look like us, and now not a hair rearranging. A knock at her door interrupted her chore of counting all faults she possessed. Mother came near and tried to bring cheer. She was overly bubbling with zest. The tears soon subsided, for how can one fight it when a mother calls ticklies on you? And every sick joke from those much older folk is remembered, told, chuckled about, and then smoothed. It was treatment like this that gave the girl bliss. So what if her hair wouldn't curl? For what are locks next to being loved lots? Next to being mom's girl, what's a curl? Isn't it true that at times when we're blue, it's because we're looking at others, thinking of all the things they possess and forgetting our blessings like mothers? But still, there's another who, just like your mother, loves you just as you are. Be it straight hair or glasses or freckles in masses, to Jesus, you shine like a star.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself, get as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
The little birds were in their home, so cuddly and warm. Under the wing of the mother bird, they were happy and free from harm. But then one day their mother called. She wanted them to fly. Had she forgotten how small they are? How they're up so high? She flapped her wings and showed the way of how it should be done. To see her fly across the sky did look like lots of fun. One little bird said, "I can't do that. I don't even want to try. I'll stay inside this little nest and live until I die." But the other bird said, "Mother calls. I've always understood. She'd never bid me leave this nest except for my own good." So out he stepped onto the edge and started to look down, then changed his gaze to seek her face, not looking at the ground. As he looked upon her loving face, he saw that she believed in him. That made him want to soar the sky, and a faith grew from within. So off he stepped and flapped his wings, not choosing to look down. A few more tries, and off he went. He was flying all around. How sad it is for those who say they don't even want to try. They never find the life that's theirs. You know, birds are meant to fly. Jesus bids us come to him. So do whate'er he asks. Just seek his face. He'll give you grace to do whate'er the task. Like the bird that soars the sky, not prisoner to the tree, Christ by faith can set you free to be all that you were meant to be.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself, get as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
This is the story of fishes who find worms so very delicious. But they learned in fish school this basic health rule. Not all worms are merely nutritious. For some worms are there as a trick to catch you on the end of a stick. Just be on the look for a worm with a hook, 'cause those are the ones not to pick. Now there's plenty of food in the sea. Just choose your worms carefully. You may think one a winner, but you'll be someone's dinner if you don't pay attention to me. A rebellious young fishy named Lucy said, "Why must we always be choosy?" She knew she was wrong, but the temptation was strong upon finding a worm that looked juicy. Now by looking, that hook was quite clear, but she decided just once she'd go near. She said, "Who could quibble over one little nibble?" And she began losing her fear. She forgot all of her lessons on hooks, as on that worm she was focusing looks. Friend said, "Don't be hasty, no worm is that tasty. Remember your fish school health books." Although she knew it not right, she decided she'd take just one bite. Will it be her last? Will she be a fish of the past? Whoosh! She went clean out of sight. When at temptation she took a long look, all she learned about worms she forsook. The moral to this tale is a truth that won't fail. Satan's goodies all have a hook.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
There's a famous pig you've heard of, no doubt, and you'd recognize her famous pig snout. But have you heard of Pig Susie? She too is a doozy, and that's who this story's about. She's a piggy so plump and so round, and she makes the cutest little pig snorting sound. When her talents were discovered, the talent scouts hovered to make her the new toast of the town. They promised to make her a star. On the screen, they said, "You'll go far." But she said, "I'm a pig. How can I make it big?" They said, "We'll just change how you are. We'll start by changing your name. We'll call you Madame LaFame." A new dress of lace, some rouge on her face. It's true, she didn't look the same. On her head, they placed a blonde wig. "How becoming," they said, "for a pig." They bedecked her with bows and powdered her nose, gave her shoes for dancing a jig. It was time for her opening premiere, but they couldn't find Pig Sue anywhere. Though they'd changed her nomenclature, they hadn't changed her nature. She was in mud from her toes to her hair. It was hard for the agents to swallow, but a pig would much rather wallow. More than looking so fine, a mud-loving swine cares most for the mud in the hollow. It's just my nature to love dirt, though I was looking so cute and so pert. I really haven't changed when just my outside's rearranged. It's what's inside that determines your worth. To be different, they'd tried to teach her, but they'd overlooked her most important feature. From old ways to depart, one needs a new heart. Then one can become a new creature.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand. 'Cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
Billy the Bully McFrown was the toughest kid in the town. When he flexed his arm, it was like an alarm to the other kids to all scatter around. He was tough, and everyone knew it. Gum in the wrapper was the way that he chewed it. It was said everywhere, he's too tough to care. That is, till he met Jimmy Pruitt. Now you may think Jim strong and tall. Fact is, he was really quite small. He didn't push him and shove. His secret weapon was love. He'd say things like, "Wanna play ball?" Other kids said, "Why play with Bill? He's so mean. He's just a pill." "God loves him," said Jim. "Christ died for him. God asked me to love him, and I will." This story has a wonderful end, 'cause Jim's love wasn't pretend. And Bill learned that love comes down from above. Now Jesus is both their best friend.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand. 'Cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
Froggie Pond in Frog County was a favorite spot for frogs to relax when the weather got hot. They'd swim for hours, splash and dive for the fun, and share picnic lunches in the afternoon sun. With basket in hand, Fred and Nancy went looking for just the right spot to eat Nancy's home cooking. They spread out their blanket to prepare for their yummies when bubbling noises distracted their thoughts from their tummies. Curiosity insisted they must look and see, so they hopped through the bushes and peered round a large tree. More careful inspection revealed a very grave matter. In a ditch, a big factory dumped boiling hot water. Fred and Nancy reported this to friends who agreed. "We'll make signs and we'll post them. No swimming," they'll read. Now the frogs round those parts wouldn't go near that ditch's danger, and they did all they could do to warn every stranger. Of course, any frog that would dive into water that hot would know right away he could get cooked in that spot. But danger of dangers was going by quite unnoticed till Fred started thinking, and Froggie Pond was his focus. He checked the temperature to find that slowly it was rising. He told his friends of the danger, but what they said was surprising. "This is not the dangerous ditch. This is only our pond. Besides, we're all living a life of which we're really quite fond." Fred tried to point out, boiling water's just as hot, though it seeps in by a little. Over time, it's a lot. Don't accept in small doses that which is wrong in a group. Many frogs finally listened, but the others, frog soup.
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear or hold your favorite hand. 'Cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
The king was counting his money, but he got so very depressed. His servants were doing all they could, but he called for a funnier guest. The jester came to dance and sing and make the old king laugh. He turned flips and somersaults and told jokes on the king's behalf. But the king requested something new, some more lasting kind of pleasure. I'm tired of laughs that die away and of counting all this treasure. One servant said, "What will we do?" Another scratched his head. "Some lasting joy for this old boy?" "I've got it," the jester said. He whispered in the king's left ear, and the king began to smile. Then he announced from his kingly throne, "I'll be back in a little while." The servants wondered and waited. Whatever could it be? Then in walked the king with a serving tray, and he began serving crumpets and tea. The servants were most astonished. "The king is serving tea." The king said, "Truly, it's more fun to give. It got boring just thinking of me."
If you tell me in a story, if you tell me in a rhyme, I'll listen to the lesson and we'll have a very good time. So sit right down and rest yourself as comfy as you can. Get your favorite teddy bear, hold your favorite hand, 'cause here comes Laurel with a moral.
A little bear named Toby that our story is about barely could be happy 'cause a problem made him pout. Embarrassed by his problem and not wanting to reveal it, he wore shoes of every shape and style, trying to conceal it. Oh, he knew others had their problems. They'd call him on the phone. But he had no heart to help them. He had problems of his own. There was Turtle, take for instance, more quiet than a mouse. He had claustrophobia, but couldn't leave his house. Another friend, a porcupine, suffered due to stress, and he's on pins and needles when life is at its best. A kind old owl that moved to town with wisdom for his years thought Toby should be happy. He was confused by all his tears. What exactly is your problem? Let's get down to the root. I'm a sad little bear, 'cause I don't have all my toes on my left foot. What makes it such a problem? Who told you you should fret? I learned of my condition from a salesman I met. Well, he sold you more than shoes and boots, and you gave him more than money. You bought your problem. I'll explain. It's a joke, but it's not funny. Your toes aren't all on one foot. 5 are here and 5 are there. You wouldn't want all 10 on one. In fact, that'd be very rare. A light went on in his bare head. How silly could he be? Of course, 5 to 5 is better than 10 to none or 7 to 3. He called the porcupine and said, "Let's talk of things that make us strong." He invited Turtle out to dine and said, "Bring your house along." The shoes went to the needy. That is, except for just one pair. He shellacked them for his mantle and hung a sign on there that read, "Let these shoes remind me to show others that I care, lest I waste time and money on problems that are not there."
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed Laurel with a Moral. Which story was your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on other videos I'm sure you'll love. Remember, you are special and loved. You're never alone, and you're always welcome to come back and hang out anytime. Until the next video, God bless. I'll see you all later, my friends. Bye-bye, everyone.